from day one, when you start Tai Chi, you always learn sink the elbow, sink the elbow, sink the elbow. Usually, it's because we want to keep the shoulders down, right? And that's important, obviously. Yeah. But we don't talk about it in terms of when you sink the elbows, right? You connect them to the feet. Why is that important? Well, if you ask yourself, if in Tai Chi we don't use muscles to do things, right? We don't use muscles. Then how do we get power in our arms? Where does this power come from? Okay. And the answer is the power comes from the feet. But how does it get to the arms? You have to connect your elbow to your knee. When your elbow sinks down and tries to connect down to your knee, you are creating a connection in your body between your knees and your elbows through your body that then gives the elbows power. And by definition, then the feet to the hands. Okay. So the idea is that if I sink and all the way down to my knees, and it's not just casually sink, but not connect, no. You have to connect down to your knees. The idea here is that you can develop posture, right? When you're standing up. And you have your head, you have your feet, tailbone sinking, everything going up like this. And that's our basic structure, our basic frame. Yes, that is exactly what we do. But it's not really, there's not a lot of power in that movement. You're just standing there. There's up and down, okay, but there's really not much else going on because it's really only two directional. So what we want to do is we want to be like a bow. See, the shape of the bow is curved. So our head is here, feet here, the Ming Men here. Now we start to create three-dimensional. We have up, we have down, and we have front and back and sideways. So now when we include the arms, and this is how we practice most of the time and what we do, so that when we're here like this, yes, our arms, and we talk about expansion and opening and, you know, becoming more round, and we do this and we hug a tree, and that's fine. But it's still not connected as much as it should be. Okay, there's really not a lot of power in the arms when I do this. There's a little more power in my body. I can withstand some force. I can issue some force, but it's still not as good as it should be or could be. Okay? Because it's lacking the connection between the elbows and the knees. But once I establish that connection between the elbows and the knees, what it does to the connections of the head and the feet, it pulls the bow forward. It moves the Ming Men back. We want our bodies to be like a bow. Okay? So creating the connection between the elbow and the knee, see this green line? This is the power in our body. That's how the power comes up from the legs to the elbows. Because we create this curve, this dynamic structure here, and we're pulling the ends of the bow. The ends of the bow are being pulled out here. The knees and the elbows meet out here. They're actually sinking towards each other, but they're meeting out here. Your feet and your fingers, your toes and your fingers meet out here. But for our discussion for today, what I want you to feel is how the elbows try to sink to the knees. The knees try to come up to the elbows. And when you do that, you create this powerful curve in the bow in here, which creates more power in the Ming Men. And that's how you can get power in your arms from your feet.